It's about changing policy, changing the direction of the money that's going into the nonprofit industrial complex and the homeless industrial complex, to root corruption out of that complex, because it is rife with corruption and misappropriation of funds, and to actually put pressure on politicians in places like Seattle and Portland and Denver and San Francisco, where we have succeeded. By the way, in San Francisco, we now have a moderate mayor, a moderate city council board of supervisors. We have a proactive district attorney after we recalled Chesa Bodine a couple of years ago, who actually declared a war on fentanyl in our town. And while it's not perfect and there's still a long way to go, we have definitely turned a corner, and it's time to take that message out to these other cities to let them know that they need to take a step away from harm reduction and from this just unbridled funding of nonprofit organizations that, you know, at the end of the day, hardly any of that money is actually getting down to the people that are supposed to help it.
Yes.
And there's proof. There's now evidence behind that showing all the grift and the corruption and the investigations. There's 13 nonprofits in San Francisco right now under investigation for misappropriation of funds or straight up corruption that are supposedly supposed to be spending that money on the most vulnerable, et cetera. Same thing's happening in Seattle. Same thing's happening in Denver. And LA, there's $2.2 billion missing from the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, and nobody can account for it. And there's still 47,000 homeless people in the city of Los Angeles. So, you know, this might be the biggest kind of grift out of all these different things that are happening in this country. It's the issue around homelessness. It might be the biggest grift of them all. And, you know, my advocacy, while I've always pushed for more recovery, and I truly believe in that, it's time to expose that.
Yep.
It's time to right the ship, and it's time to pivot away from this radical do all the drugs you want stuff. And I promise you, changes are coming. Next year, if you want to get a grant from HUD to operate your housing, you need to submit a plan for treatment and recovery for people. That is the way. Involving faith-based organizations. That is the way. You're bringing everybody into that space now to try to mitigate what I think is really the crisis of our generation, which is homelessness and the drug problem. I mean, look, we've got 40 million Americans addicted to drugs right now. You've got another, after that, you have another 10% of Americans that are addicted to alcohol, so alcoholism, right? So we're talking like 50, 60 million people in our country that are addicted to a substance.
Yeah.
And we have 1 million homeless people to boot. It's like, man, in our urban centers are crumbling under the weight of all of that, and we must respond. So if we can reduce homelessness, get people off the street, save lives, and make our community safer, that's the big thing that everyone keeps forgetting.
Yeah.
Harms to the community, reducing harms to the community. Yeah. I don't care if it's Mickey Mouse that's president, right? I'm going to support that. And so here we are. Yeah, it's Donald Trump. Sorry, folks. I know you Democrats are pissed, you know. I'm not, because everything that I've been fighting for is starting to happen. And I'm really, really excited about that.
It just seems like some of them would rather let people die than work with Donald Trump.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. They would. Like, you know, fascist and all that stuff. And you hear all that craziness. And I try not to listen to the noise. I mean, I get enough of it already. And now that I'm getting involved here in Seattle, I mean, people are already coming after me on social media. Yeah. All the radicals up here. And I'm like, good, bring it.
Right.
That means that you're worried.
Yeah.
That means that change is coming.
Well, Andrea gets it bad here.
I know. So she needs a little help.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help her.
I love that.
Because she deserves it and she needs it. And what they're doing is the right thing. And Seattle, despite their best efforts, have failed in every measurable, every metric they failed on reducing homelessness and drug addiction and drug overdose on our streets. Yeah. Every metric, despite hundreds of millions of dollars spent. Why not let someone else have a crack at this? Again, it's because they're playing keep away. Yeah. So I'm going to try to engage the leadership here to open up to the idea of trying something different. If they won't, I'm going to engage the community to donate all the money you can to We Heart Seattle and organizations like that to help them grow bigger so that they can do more and they can keep putting that pressure on the political administration, both in Seattle, King County, and even in Washington State.